It's bullshit.
It seems like a Sunday, like anyone before. That's what you think. So you open up the door, you feel the buzz, you can hear the people singing battle cries. Lucas Oil Stadium's about to come alive. Blue and white jerseys, some old and some new, all gather round South Capitol Avenue. They come for the tailgate, some drive and some buy. Colts fans show up with fire in their eyes, yelling, "Go Hosts, go Big Blue!" We're in the stands, the tried and true, here to watch this football sensation. Come on, let's go, Colts Nation, the Colts Nation. We take this very serious, it is not a joke. We're back, all the players, we're back in it, coach. We scream and we root, we raise up our fists to support this team from Indianapolis. Go Hosts, go Big Blue! We're in the stands, cheering for you, here to watch this football sensation. Come on, let's go, Colts Nation, the Colts Nation, Colts Nation. Screaming, go Hosts, go Big Blue! We're in the stands, the tried and true, here to watch this football sensation. Come on, let's go, Colts Nation, yeah, Colts Nation, that Colts Nation. Come on, let's go, Colts Nation.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, for the thousands that's in attendance and the millions all over the show world and show. Are you ready? I said, are you ready? I know we got a big crowd tonight. Tonight we got Big Country, Clyde the Voice, Thomas Ice Coast Frost, Chase Fader, CJ, Big P, and our tonight's guest, Big Unc, Tracy Russell. This is the Anvil Show.
Yes, sir. Welcome to the Anvil. While you at it, if you're live right now, go ahead and like us, subscribe to us on all the socials. That's Facebook, that's YouTube, that's Twitter, and YouTube. And we actually streaming live to YouTube tonight for the very first time. So how are my boys doing around the horn? Let's go. We start with Big P. How you feeling, man?
Man, I'm fired up, ready to go, brother.
Yes, sir. Thomas, how you feeling?
Yes, sir. I'm with Pat on that one. I was off last week, but here I am. I'm back, so ready to go.
Big Country, what you feeling like?
Feeling good, man. I had a week off as well. Had a lot of stuff going on, but I'm good. Glad to be back, brother. Glad to be back.
And last but not least, Vader from the show. How you feeling?
Oh, I can't wait. You should have been here before the show. We were all getting each other riled up. I'm ready.
And for the first time, Big Unc, Tracy Russell, Kari Willis's uncle. How you feeling tonight, boss?
I'm excited. Appreciate you guys having me on this evening.
Appreciate you coming on, man. We know you're busy, man. You're out there working the roads now. Appreciate you pulling over and spending some time with us, huh?
Absolutely. I thank you guys for
Absolutely.
having me. You guys got an awesome show.
Thanks, boss. Thanks,
Thank
boss.
Appreciate it, man.
Well, hell, so we was all over the place, but we'll just start with the biggest news, and that's the Gilmore signing. So let's jump into that. Well, I have to lead this one with Carvey, right? Carvey, you up first. This is why you up first. Last time we talked, you wanted Chris Ballard to thump the wallet a little bit, bring in a name. You want that guy, that extra guy, that quite salt on top, caviar. Carvey, how you feeling about Stephon Gilmore, boss?
Hey, be honest. I know what CC's starting to stick to me a little bit, but I'm gonna let you know right now that I'm loving it because I'm gonna call it right now. I'm gonna call it before the season even started. We're gonna have the number one defense out there. Because you got to think about right now on paper, we look outstanding. And I know we're going to perform really well because last year we was like the number one takeaway defense out there. Yes or no?
Fact.
Okay. So now you add Stephon Gilmore to that with Gakwe. Oh my God. And then we got a couple and the new defense scheme. Oh yeah, I'd say right now, hands down, we are going to have the number one defense in the league. I mean, you could argue with me about that, but yeah.
You were to stamp it, huh?
Stamp it.
All right, Pat, I'm gonna let you pass it around because you the usher of the show, man. You call him out. Who's next? We got a big panel, bro. So I'm gonna let you manage.
Well, let's let Big Unk in there. What do you think? What do you think about the Gilmore signing and how it's going to affect the backside of our defense?
Well, I think that this Gilmore signing was a very key signing for a number of key things, not just from a general manager standpoint, for Ballard's standpoint, and getting a little bit of faith back behind Jim Irsay, but I mean, from Irsay to have some faith, Irsay to get a little bit more faith back. But I think this Gilmore signing was a really key signing, and the reason why I say that is because you got to have a corner on the outside on the island that can shut down like Deion Sanders. There's a reason why this guy is a 5-time All-Pro, Pro Bowl. There's a reason. You have to have a guy that can be able to shut down half of a field. If you go back and you look at a number of years, a lot of good corners that came up, a lot of these teams that are making it is because they got good corners on the outside. Someone that's out there, I don't have to have safety help over the top for Gilmore at all. I know he can play you man-on-man, which is going to do two things. It's going to free up Kari coming down as that 8-man in the box, as a box safety. That's going to really free him up, but it's also going to allow Julian to roam free. And really and truly, for Julian, whoever want to play that cover 2 and that safety help over the top is going to be on the other side. It's not going to be on Gilmore's side. So when you get a guy that shuts down half of the field, that automatically pushes your defense to a whole nother level. We were just making sharp gains last year. This signing and then the signing was sending Rocky Sin and getting that guy, the defensive tackle, it's going to open up. So Darius Leonard's going to have a field day, and there's going to be some guys who's going to have some numbers that are going to jump off the charts. And I personally agree with Carvel. We're going to have the number one defense in the NFL.
That's 100, man.
All right. Chase was another big opponent to bring in the big money, shiny free agent. Are you happy now, Chase?
I am ecstatic. We all thought when Jim Irsay was thinking, hey, we all saw that clip, he was going to bring in that guy. Ballard was looking. We all thought it was the Honey Badger. We all thought that. But it's a shutdown corner, Stephon Gilmore. I mean, we went over the money last week. We thought it was actually going to be more than what it thought, but Ballard got him at a heck of a deal. So now, like Unc said, you got Gilmore over there playing Revis Island. We have not had that. I can't remember. I mean, we've had so many different corners. When was the last time we had Vontae Davis? Maybe.
Probably Vontae Davis, yeah.
Before he shut down in Buffalo. But other than, I mean, in the cover 3, this new cover 3 defense we're going to play, and like his nephew's going to play, I love to see Willis is going to play that Troy Polamalu type of player. I really think that's his style. And you have Blackman in the back. There is no weakness on this defense now. Not one weakness now. I am completely happy. I love Ballard, and I will completely shut my mouth on the defensive side for the rest of the year.
Son, the evil one. The evil one's going to bed. I can't believe the evil one's going to shut his mouth on the defense. Let's go. All right, Pat.
I believe that when I see it.
I know, Pat. Who's up next?
Big country, talk to me.
Man, everybody who knows me knows I love some high-intensity, hard-hitting defensive football, boy. And Gilmore brings that with this new defense ours. I mean, you got to look around. We have next-level talent coming into this league, and you have to step up your game. You have to play intensively. You have to play smart. You have to play hard. You have to play quick. With this new defense, we got that. I mean, our eyes are always on the ball. We're always in pursuit of the ball. Gilmore just adds that, and all the rest of our free agent pickups that we got always and will, capitalize for. So it's going to be an exciting year of defensive Colts football, boys.
I'll definitely agree with that, country. And not only is Gilmore going to make everybody else in the backfield, because we're pretty young. We've got a young defense, and they're extremely talented, but they can get better. We all know this. We know they can play better. And people like Gilmore and Yannick, they're going to make and raise and elevate everybody's game, just like Q elevated Anthony Costanzo's game. To me, Costanzo was a mediocre left tackle for years until Big Q came. When Big Q came, man, he was Pro Bowl tackle. It's because that one person elevated everybody else. You don't want to – these guys are professionals. They don't want to look bad in front of their family, in front of their coaches, in front of their teammates, in front of their fans. And if somebody's out there doing all the damn work, that's going to make them look bad. It's just natural progression to raise your game around very talented people like that.
Yeah, I agree, man. I'll jump in here and then we'll give it to Thomas. So my thoughts real quick is a lot of times as players, you have to just be humble, right? And you're not going to come out and discredit the entirety of the defense or the coordinators or anything. None of those guys, I think, wholeheartedly were happy with the cover two. They knew it was a shell defense. And we had some limitations in what we can do in all three phases of the defense. So we went with a safe defense, but to, I guess, up our play, we forced the turnovers. Now they like, you know what? We have solid pieces on each level. We can play real defense now. I get it. Gus doesn't blitz a lot. You got a more of that man zone type scheme, but they're going to allow them to play defense now. And getting Gilmore allows, like Unc said, allows you to really focus on one side of the field. We're going to trust this guy over here because he's a 5-time, all pro. But over here, yeah, we might end up having to double cover somebody here and there. But we can do so many schematic things now because we have such a lockdown corner. That's why I'm happy with this signing, because now you're going to see Colts. We've never been a true man-to-man 4-3 defense ever. But I think we have that element now, and it's going to be exciting. It's going to be exciting to watch.
Now, can I throw something in on what you said, Clyde? You said Bradley's known not for his blitzing.
Mm-hmm.
I can see a 180 here.
Okay.
And I can see a ton of blitzes coming out of this, because not only is our defense young, it's extremely fast. And he's got multiple players that he can cherry pick and say, all right, this is Willis's blitz. This is Kenny Moore's blitz. This is Darius Leonard's blitz. This is Bobby O's blitz. And he can dial in special blitz for a multiple number of athletes on that defense. I can see him actually doing a lot of blitzing versus his other tenures at other places, just because of the talent and speed we have on this team.
Yeah, just like he said in his, his interview, he said, I'm not opposed to it. Definitely know that we're not opposed to blitzing. It's just that that's something we haven't focused on. But you're right. When you got athletes all over the field, and we know Kenny Moore had a year or 2 years ago off the edge blitzing. It was insane. He was creating turnovers and getting blindside sacks and the whole thing. So that skill set hasn't gone away. You know what I mean? So all we have to do now is like focus a little bit more on depth. Because you really think like, or linebacker wise, we really got 3: Zaire, Bobby, and Darius. So get a couple other names in there since we lost Adams, a couple more pieces in the depth chart for the secondary. We in there, bro. because the front seven is locked. I mean, we got 8-9 rotation there. We locked, bro.
Thomas, what do you think about Gilmore?
Yeah, I'm excited, and I got a little bit of a different reason. My excitement for this is because I thought we were going to go corner with our first pick and probably have to throw some young kid like into the fire, like right out the gate. But I think with Stephon Gilmore, we're going to have room to draft somebody to, he's got what, 2 years here, so they'll have a few years to learn and develop from him. And then I'm excited to see what you guys already touched on, how the scheme comes out. But yeah, my biggest thing is having that young guy who can take a year off and learn a little bit before he goes right into it, like we had to do with Rock and stuff.
Good points. Big facts.
Can I add something?
Yeah, go ahead, brother.
I just also want to add this too about this Gilmore signing. His signing, if you look at the money that he actually could have went and got, was a cap-friendly signing. It really, really, really was a cap-friendly signing, and it opened up a lot of things. But Gilmore wanted to be in Indy. He wanted to be here. That's why he signed. He could have got more money than what he actually got. And to be able to get 2 years, $23 million, that's a cap-friendly signing, especially for a guy that's a shutdown corner like that, because he can very well, just as much as he's going to come right in and start in Indy, he can start for any other 31 teams and would have probably got more money. But he wanted to be in Indy.
Yeah. And one thing with that too, like I feel like sometimes these guys have to humble themselves. I mean, there's no secret. Over the last couple of years, he's been a little banged up, quad injury. He's missed a number of games over the last 2 seasons. And I think sometimes, guys might be prideful and not want to like really, face that truth. And then therefore, like you said, they'll press their button. But then you can actually see character in guys that be like, you know what? Look, man, I've been at the top with New England. I've made money, you know what I mean? And now I just want to be in a position towards the end of my career to be with a really solid squad and see what we can do. I appreciate a guy like that who's not just in it for the money. But I get it. This is their livelihood. They got to take care of their family and those type of things. But, at the same time, like there has to be a bargaining chip. And I think when you're a humble person, you're like, you know what? It's not that I've lacked on the field. It's the fact that I haven't been on the field. You know what? I'm with you on that. So let's go true valuation of what my market value is. Let's meet in the middle and let's make it happen. Because last week we said we thought it was going to be like a 3-year deal, 30-something million, 24 guaranteed. But I think that third year would have maybe came had he been on the field for the last 2 full seasons, but he hasn't. So I appreciate this deal. I'm happy with it, and I'm going to absolutely live it up. And I hope the guy shows that, hey, I can still play at 33 when it's time to talk about it again, in all honesty. So let's do it, man, for real. Oh man, that's a long one. Let's see. Juice podcast. I like the Juice podcast. They don't believe we can actually win home field advantage now. Huh. Interesting. I don't know. I don't think we want to burn any other podcast, but I really appreciate your thought process there, Sean. At the end of the day, we all fans with opinions. But yeah, like when it comes to Matt Ryan, like that, this is what's wild about that. People are just looking at his age, like, but that's it. That's the only knock on Matt Ryan at the moment, right? I'm like, bro, this guy is still very good. Like Matt Ryan is still, I don't care that he's about to be 37.
Did you see the videos the Colts were putting out on OTAs today?
Winging that thing, bro.
Man, Matty Ice has still got plenty. And anybody
you get Matty Ice
that arm. That arm of his is cold, son. Cold.
Yep. And I think that's what you're gonna witness this season. A guy that's coming in with something to prove. Matty Ice, yes, he's been, Pro Bowler a number of times. He's been MVP, been to the Super Bowl. Some want to blame him for that loss, but you win as a team, you lose as a team. But this dude is not just coming here to collect a check and then bow out gracefully. He's coming here like, look, man, I get it. Kansas City and the Raiders now and the Chargers and the Bills and the blah, blah, blah. But nah, you need to be focused on this team right here in Indianapolis because we're going to get after it. This is going to be different, bro. I'm telling you, this season, we already got 1A running back. And sure, our receiving core needs some help, and we're going to do that. But at the same time, we now have, in my opinion, we have a top 10 quarterback. He might be towards the end of that now because of his age, but he's still top 10. My thoughts. Maybe if you don't agree. What you got, Carvey? You got your hand
all right. Thank you, teacher. Excuse me. No,
I have to go potty.
He's stupid. Get on mom for that. Thank you. So my question is this: you believe since anyways, I got two questions. Do you think that Matt Ryan could win the comeback player of the year? And two, hold on. And two, do you think what is the difference between Matt Ryan, like this feeling of this season becoming this starting this new season with Matt Ryan, the difference between Carson Wentz starting this season? I'm just curious. That's all. I'm not saying he's a difference maker, but I'm just saying what do you feel like what was the difference? Because I know that you're hyped, Clyde, because from the way you talk and the way you speak, and you like, oh man, we got something special, and I agree with you. But what is the difference between from last year without the season of Carson Wentz and Matt Ryan? I'm just asking.
Pat, I'll let you pass the buck. Who you want to start?
Take this one.
All right, go ahead.
Well, when he comes back, we'll let him take it. You still with us, Unc?
Uh-oh. Might have some issues.
All right, go ahead.
Wait,
Chase Baker.
You with us, Unc?
You kind of, I think you probably got his mute.
No,
I didn't mute him.
You got to talk. Tracy, you hear me?
I think he having some.
Yeah, Tracy, go ahead. This happens every once in a while. Go ahead and leave, and then come back. There you go. All right, big country. Well, answer Carvey's question. I know. Adam's got a great answer to your question here about the difference between Matt Ryan and Carson Wentz.
All right,
Matt, don't freak out. Matt Ryan will
Yeah.
take.
And I agree.
I definitely have to agree. Go ahead, Carvey.
No, I would just say I agree with Matt and everything. I'm just trying to figure, like everybody's like, how do everybody feel about that? That's all, the difference. And do you think he could be the comeback player of the year? That's all.
I don't think he can be because he wasn't hurt. Like I think you have to meet certain criteria to be comeback player.
Yeah, I was just getting when I was up, I was going to ask what the criteria was.
Okay,
that he fits that mold for comeback player of the year, which last year Carson Wentz actually fit that mold, even though he wasn't coming off an injury.
So that's that because everybody said so. That's why it came in my mind. It's like, can Matt Ryan be that comeback player of the year? Because even though he's not injured,
I think you have to meet that billet. I think you have to actually, if it's not injury, you've missed significant time for whatever reason. Carson Wentz did get benched.
He got benched, but he wasn't injured or anything. So, but that's what I'm saying. Like,
I don't think you can. Let me see. I'm gonna look it up.
Look it up. I'm sorry. I'm not trying to be difficult, but I'm just trying to figure out everything.
Tracy, give Carvey an answer for his question. You heard it all, correct?
I did.
Okay.
I think that I don't think that he's eligible for comeback, because he wasn't technically injured and he technically did play last year. Just because a guy gets traded from one team to the next it's not going to qualify them for a comeback player of the year or anything like that. But what he can do and what he possibly will do if you put the right pieces around him, like I would say, for instance, I love Mo Alley Cox, but let's go get Blake Jarwin or someone of a receiving tight end to be able to help Matty Ice down there, and as well go get another receiver for Matty Ice, and not just talking about Matty Ice winning a comeback, but he can win an MVP because Matty Ice still has a strong arm, and if you put the right pieces around him, he will be an MVP talk. That's the talk that we want to hear them talk about Matty Ice. Because everybody want to look at his age. Age is just a number. And Tom Brady proved that. Regardless of how we want to look at it, he proved that. Matty Ice still got a lot in the tank. And if you was to look at his thing like they were talking about, the guy was whistling that ball around. And I'm going to tell you something, talking to my nephew, that character. You guys talk a lot about character. Matty Ice is a character guy. And he's the type of guy that receivers and tight ends believe in. They believe in him. If you put the right pieces around this guy, you guys are going to see an MVP type season from Matty Ice this year. And there's no doubt in my mind that Chris Ballard is working on getting him another tight end, a tackle to stream up on the left side there, and as well as get him a receiver. And I'm going to tell you something, when they do those three things that's coming up for the draft, the sky is the limit for the Indianapolis Colts. It's the limit. And Matty Ice is in a great position. And do I believe in him? Hell yeah, I believe in him. You know, can't never take anything away from a guy. He just didn't have the pieces to get over the hump. If we give him the pieces to get over the hump, Matty Ice will be an MVP. And they will talk about that. I guarantee you.
That's deep. And
because
I looked
here's
at
the thing. Here's the thing of why I say that. It's because the NFL loves Matty Ice. The league loves Matty Ice. You don't have to be on the same team to not. Can't nobody tell me because he played for the Falcons that you didn't. No one consider to say like, man, Matty Ice made some sweet catches to Calvin Ridley, some sweet throws. You never ever hear no one really have anything negative to say about Matty Ice. Now, of course, you're going to hear that coming from the AFC South because he's in that division. But you know what? They better be scared because we got somebody that can get us to the promised land, and I believe he'll do it next year.
So I looked it up. So comeback player of the year, injury, or someone who performed really poorly. So in that case, Carson Wentz fit the bill because he was no good. But Matt Ryan didn't play poorly last year, not to the extent of like that. Like Matt Ryan didn't. He was 20-12 touchdown ratio, interception ratio. I think he still hit on 60-some-odd%, and he had 3K yards and some change. So it wasn't like, oh my God, he had a 10 touchdown year on 15 picks and 2,200 yards or something like that. I don't think he fits the bill for that.
Oh, okay, because I figured since his last season was not the greatest, I figured that next coming up year for us, if he does really good, that he fits that criteria of being the comeback player. That's what I was asking.
Then it's more so what Unc said is then at that point it's really like MVP for somebody like Matt Ryan.
And I agree. MVP, Super Bowl, or nothing.
Yeah, but the other key thing to your question, why I believe that everything Tracy said, but more importantly is like when we came into the season last year, we all had unsurety when it came to Carson Wentz. Man, he can be really good if he play like he did in 2017, but if he don't, right? We don't have that with Matt Ryan, bro. Like Matt Ryan is a perennial Pro Bowler, 60K yards, bro, 300 and some odd touchdowns. Like Matt Ryan just got to come in and be Matt Ryan, and he's a born leader. And he's honestly like, let's not even forget the lineage that he has with Peyton Manning. Like him and Peyton Manning are like this. So he even said, like, look, I've reached out to Peyton about this whole thing. And Peyton was like, hey, man, if you want to go somewhere, that's the place to go. So we getting a whole different breed of quarterback. It's no knock on Carson. Like I said, I'm not here to keep on knocking him now that he's out the door, but this is way different feeling, even at 37 years old, than a 30-year-old Carson Wentz coming in the door last year. I thought so.
Absolutely. And we all seen how Carson Wentz went downhill early in his career, but we seen him play well. And as Colts fans, we love the guy because we knew there was a possibility that he gets back up there and plays MVP style football. Just didn't happen.
Well, I'm gonna be honest with you.
Go ahead.
I gotta chime this in about Carson Wentz. I'm a realist to the game, man, and like one thing about Carson Wentz is I never had a problem with Carson Wentz because for one, a lot of people pointed the finger at Carson Wentz. And I really hate to put this in because we're talking about Matty Ice, but let me say this about Carson Wentz. To have 27 touchdowns and 6 interceptions and then to be able to come back and not be able to have the weapons that you need on the outside or the tight ends to be able to help you. We didn't give Carson Wentz the help that we need. So it's really not fair for people to come at Carson Wentz like that. If anybody that I blame General Manager Ballard and I blame Jim Irsay for not going out and getting some wide receiver help that we've needed for the past 3 or 4 years, ever since the decline of T.Y. Hilton. Now, had you gave Carson Wentz the help, if he had 27 touchdown passes and 6 interceptions, last year. Imagine what you had if you gave him an Odell Beckham or a Jarvis Landry or some kind of receiver out there that's going to be consistent to be able with Michael Pittman. Carson Wentz would have had off the chart numbers, and I guarantee you that. And Jim Irsay wouldn't feel the way he feel about that, but he feel the way he feel, and he's entitled to feel that way. But if they're going to be fair about the situation, be fair to the fact that this guy didn't have the weapons that he need. Now, if we don't get Matty Ice the weapons that he need, that Carson Wentz dearly needed and still had 27 touchdowns and 6 interceptions, you're going to see the same situation with Matty Ice getting hurt, especially on top of that not having a left tackle. That's going to be for sure. So we can talk and point the finger at Carson Wentz all we want, but I'm pointing the finger back at General Manager Ballard. I'm pointing the finger back at Coach Wright, and I'm pointing the finger back at Jim Irsay as well, because they needed to do what needed to be done. You bring this high-profile guy in here, they need to do on their end getting him the help that he needed, and the scapegoat was to go send him off to Washington instead of being real and go and get him the help that he needed. And they used him as a scapegoat. He took the high road about it, because of his faith, which is cool. But when we want to be real about it, you don't get Matty Ice the same help that you did Carson Wentz. Matty Ice is going to pull himself up off the ground an awful lot, because if you ain't got no receiver to throw to, it's kind of hard to really do anything, to jail. You don't got no marquee receivers, and T.Y. Hilton was hurt a lot. So I love T.Y. Hilton, but I just feel like you got to get Michael Pittman, and you got to get them some help with some receiving tight ends. So I said go get Blake Jarwin and go get you some receiver help. And if you do, you're going to see a whole other different dynamic. And Carson Wentz just didn't have that. And that's my personal opinion.
Preach, Unc. I just want to say this before I be muted again. Preach, Unc. There you go. Hey, absolutely. Hey, you just, hey, you're right. Hey, what Uncle said.
It might not
say
be.
Preach.
It might not be a fan favorite of what some fans, but that's why I tell people I'm not biased just because my nephew plays safety for the Colts. I'm not, man. I look at the team from a whole perspective, and a lot of people don't realize until Carson Wentz got hurt in Philadelphia against the Rams, diving into the end zone, scoring a touchdown, I might add. And I'm not trying to sit here and put any, because he's gone and he's off to Washington. I wish him the best. But let me tell you something. The kid has had a lot of scrutiny over his head. It's one thing, it don't matter what sports you played, it's hard to play in Philadelphia. Whether you play in hockey, basketball, look at Ben Simmons. Ben Simmons left because it's hard to play in Philadelphia. So it's not the issue about whether this kid can play. But when you got Nick Foles coming in, Nick Foles basically to me was a glorified backup that just got the chance to be in the right situation. Because really and truly, if you look at who got the Philadelphia Eagles to that point, it was Carson Wentz till he got hurt. And it's just what it is, man. Like, I can't. What's real is real, and so I'm not going to ever put the blame all on Carson Wentz. Did he fumble the last couple of weeks? Yeah, he fumbled, but it's kind of hard you're going to fumble when you ain't got nobody to throw to.
Okay, Tracy, I'm not going to take away anything you just said because you're 100% on it. 100% on it. But on the other side of that coin, we got a man out here that's not going through his progressions, not going through his check downs, putting the ball in his left hand and chucking it just wherever the hell it goes, and it was more than once during the season, and I 100% agree with you. I won't put any loss on one person. I will not do it.
Let me ask you a question. Okay, even with the chucks and all this, you know what? Have you ever been in a situation where you've been on a job and a boss tells you to do something and they're putting pressure on you and you're attempting to walk this process through to fine tune it, but when you go to talk to the person who knows that writes your check, that he really don't have discussions with you. Let me tell you something before you guys really understand. To me, Jim Irsay had a feeling about the way he felt about Carson Wentz way before the season was over with.
Like he didn't want him, right? Like that wasn't the
like
guy.
He didn't want him.
Okay.
He had this feeling. So when you got this feeling that somebody don't really want you here, but you here, how do you think it's going to perform? Like, it got to fall back on it. If I could sit down to Jim Irsay, I would tell him, you know what, sir, I love you to death, and thank you for drafting my nephew. But let me tell you something. You, sir, need to tell your general manager, who I love to death, and your coach, who I love to death, that listen, it's not in the field of communication. It's called obfuscation. Obfuscation meaning minimizing or shifting blame. Stop minimizing and shifting blame and take responsibility of the fact you didn't get the receiver help and you didn't get the tight end help. Go sew up those two positions and watch what kind of year Carson Wentz would have had.
Let me ask
Like,
you this
seriously.
though, Tracy. Like, so, but do you not think Matt Ryan definitely understood the same thing? And maybe there are open promises like, hey, look, we're gonna do this in the draft. We might look for this guy, but even still, he still signed on the dotted line before any of this shored up.
Sure.
So my perspective is this, and it's no knock on Carson, but what if maybe we add a piece in the draft, but nothing that's substantial, but we bring in another receiver, another tight end, and these guys that were there last year go leaps and bounds beyond what they were last year underneath the helm of a new QB. Like, I'm not even going to sugarcoat it. Carson Wentz, solid quarterback. He is not Matt Ryan. Matt Ryan can make normal guys, and we've talked about this on the show before, be really solid. Normal dudes, like the guys that you'd be like, okay, Russell Gage, that's a quality dude, I guess. But Russell Gage is really good with Matt Ryan there. Other dudes that he's played with over the years, sure, he has the big names, the Julios, the Calvin Ridleys, of course, those. But if you just look at who he's Cordell Patterson last year, for God's sake, like, it's not that he's a scrub, but he's just,
Baller.
yeah, like Cordell he talked about bouncing around the league. What he's on, like his 5th, 6th team. So he's always had a skill set, but it's never like translated to like, hey, this is our guy. We're locking Cordell down for the next 5 years. So I'm just saying Matt Ryan always has been able to work with what he has. And I think I think they believe in their draft picks, and we're not in that room, right? Even though your nephew's on the team, you're not in that room. Nephew might give you some insight, but you're not in that room. But I think
in that room. Correct.
Yeah, and I think that they honestly like you would do. Like, if you invest in something, you're gonna believe in it until you realize, like, damn, that investment was a bust. And some of these guys are still so young. The Patmans he's a baby, you know what I mean? As far as age, Strachan's a baby as far as age and skill set. So they like, look, well, let's see what we can get out of these guys before we just, throw them off to the off season, whatever, give them away. Like, let's see if they can actually play. So I think they're going to do that, but you're going to see a tight end come in the draft. You're going to see a wide receiver. I say, you want a guy, get Troy McBride. He's got to be first though. Trey McBride, my bad, out of Colorado State. He's got to be 42. He'll be around. After that, I don't think he'll be around. But you want a playmaker? That's Travis Kelce, bro. That's Travis, a young baby Travis Kelce right there. That dude is electric. A tight end,
something like that.
Yeah, and I think they will. I really think they will. But you're right though. Picking the quarterback that you chose, that being Carson Wentz, and not giving specifically him, more weapons is a different evaluation than taking Matt Ryan with the same team. So you're right.
For me, the reason why I say that is because if that's the case, then let's go ahead and let's do it. So we're doing evaluations. Let's go ahead and evaluate our head coach then. Because this is the guy that you drafted out of North Dakota State, and this is the guy that you brought in here. So
he fell on the sword,
evaluations, because I can do some evaluations. That's for another show. I can do some evaluations on some of the play calling for Coach Wright, but that's another story. But I get what you guys saying, man. And I just, I never had a problem with Carson Wentz. I've always been a realist about any and everything, and just like if I don't have these pieces, how can I ever expect to win a championship if I got missing pieces, and I think Carson Wentz was a more expenditure because that's a high price piece, and they want to get rid of that high price, and that's exactly what they did. And kudos to General Manager Ballard for doing that, because I tell you, like we always say, that guy pulls a rabbit out of the hat every time, man.
Fact, that's a perfect segue. So let's bring in the next topic, and we'll let Chase lead this one because this is more of his speed. But we're gonna talk cap versus cash because we learned a lot. If you watch with the next pick, I advise everyone to watch those short videos. They're like between 7 and 10 minutes, but it gives an insight of how the Colts take a look at the draft. So let's bring cap versus cash into this conversation. All right, Vader one. Let's go ahead and discuss this a little bit. I'm gonna let you lead this, and let's talk about what you found out about cap versus cash and watching those videos.
Okay, now if you guys have not watched that video, please watch it because I did not know a lot of the things that were in this video. But Mike Brown is a freaking genius when it comes to numbers. But the cap, I didn't think you could really go over that because we were all trying to understand why are the Rams getting all these players. We couldn't understand how the money worked. So the cap, you can go over that. But it's the cash. It's all about how much money is going out. So I look. The Colts have like 175 or 179 million. So, but their cap number is around 200. They only have like 12 or 14 in cap. So technically, Ballard could do whatever he wants on a contract, and he can get whatever player he wants, and we can go over the cap. It's just that money over time, that cash over time is going to eventually catch up to you. So it's cash versus cap. Never worry about the cap. So for me, I'll never worry about the cap anymore because, like Ballard said, it's cash versus cap. You want to be. It's all about that cash.
And so talking about Mike Bloom before I kick it back to Pat, what I found out is whoever is your designated capologist, like and this kind of goes back to the last segment a little bit with Unc. It's easy to blame the face that you know. In this case, Chris Ballard's our GM, but it's really not him. The questions and the conversations that happened, he said, Mike is going to ask really tough questions. How much do we love this guy? And if so, what is his value that you give him versus the value that his agent and the market is going to give him? And then we have to come into the middle and say, is this a guy for the Colts? So yes, we always have a face, right? So of course, Jim Irsay, he's the head of the franchise. Then you can go GM, that's Chris Ballard. Then we got head coach, but we never know behind the scenes. The capologist is really who people should probably have gripes with, because without him checking Chris Ballard, he's going to check Chris Ballard. Hey, look, man, are you thinking about Q in the future? Are you thinking about this guy? Are you thinking about this guy? Are you thinking about this guy? Because if we make this move today, whoever this move is, are we willing to potentially let this guy go in the future? Let that guy go in the future. Let this guy go. And it's like, it's a whole other process. And I know Ballard has some absolute hate his way, right? And it doesn't come from this panel. We might question some things, but there's hate out there, bargaining bin Ballard and everything else, right? But at the end of the day, like, he's not really always the final say. I think that Mike Bloom has a lot to say with that. But I seen your hand, Carvey. I'm gonna shut up now.
You could. So Mike Bloom, yeah, he's the final say. But my thing is this though, like, if we like, okay, because me and Chase Vader was talking about this earlier, that we are like way below under the cap space, correct? So my thing is this: why haven't we? Even if we want to go spend some big money for a certain player or whatever, why haven't we not gone out there and grabbed that person? Because we are way below under that cap. So that's my question, right? Like, why haven't we went out there and get that threat wide receiver or that good offensive line? That's my question. I'm not knocking Chris Ballard as a GM or nothing like that, but if we way under that cap space, and I guess we're gonna pay our players, why not just spend a little extra money here and there? Just like, hey, let's bring this in, and help us out. Why not?
But is that your guy though? Like, Pat, answer that. Like, think about that. Is that your guy? Sometimes it's not your guy. And think about how you buy a car, right? Like, okay, are you just gonna go with that very first number? Hey, look, this car is 42,000, or is it gonna be some bargaining chips?
No, I mean, of course he's not gonna do that though, but he's going to do something. He's not going to like, oh, 40. Nah, I'm cool. But he will throw a good number out there. Come on.
He might not be your guy though. Like, do you want a Cadillac? Maybe you don't like Cadillac. Maybe you're a Lincoln guy. I don't know.
No. Who will pick a Cadillac over Lincoln?
I don't know. Everybody isn't your guy, and that's what is hard because we want players. We just like, God, go get
someone for the team. Someone that's a coach guy. I get that, and I understand someone's going to be for the team. But my thing is this: if we could bring that person that is a coach player, that could be a coach player, but he's like, hey, just pay me a little bit of money. I'm there. Why not?
Well, that boy Carvey is never satisfied. Pat,
you about to call me caviar? That's messed up. You get Omaha for that.
Yeah.
Man.
No, I'm not. You are caviar. Like, you are that, bro. Like, you just want the nice things, the delectable. I want the Louis and
caviar.
The thing is that I think a lot of people.
Well, I can't stand you. I'm sorry. I can't stand Will sometimes. I'm shut up.
I think a lot of times people forget when you're building a team and the way Ballard's building this. And when he first got here, he said his way is through the draft. I'm going to draft the players that fit my system. He has a system in play, and that the coaches he brings in fit his system. They like this, they like that, they like this. A particular player that hits the free agent market might be a great player, but he was a great player for Belichick's system. We don't run Belichick's system here. We don't run name any other coach, Sean McVay's system. We don't run those systems. So not only do you have to look at the cash, look at the cap, you got to look at the player. Really analyze that free agent player and if he's going to fit well within the system. So you got money, system, locker room. They got to check all three boxes. Or Chris Ballard's going to give you that typical answer that he's given before. Hey, they're a great player, and they're going to be a great player for somebody else, just not us. And it's okay. He said that on this show before. So look at the boxes. And I guarantee you there's more than three boxes, but my slow brain only works in three, so that's all you're getting out of me today. Cash, system, locker room.
Thomas, where you at on this? You've been relatively quiet.
Yeah, I'm with Pat on that. Like Chris Ballard, like he said, he's going to make sure that those boxes all get checked, and that's just the type of general manager we have and the culture we have. You're a good player. You're a good person first, then you're a good player, and I think that's just why we don't end up taking chances on some players. You got to fit. It's what do they used to call it? The little studs on the horseshoe. Seven characteristics.
Oh yeah.
And I think they haven't said that in a while, but I haven't forgot that. And it's if you fit that mold, you're either you can be on the Colts, but if not, then people like Kansas City will take a chance on them.
Country, where you at on that? People like Kansas City.
I'm going to put it to you this way. I'm going to leave them numbers to them guys, honestly, because my big country ass cannot keep up with that type of shit. I went to a school with a class of 68 people, okay?
Oh, shit.
But no, I mean, I learned a lot watching that video, honestly, the cash versus cap thing. I had no idea either. Like, I figured the cap was the cap. Like, that's all you could spend. And it was cool to find all that stuff out. And but I mean, like, I'll agree with Pat again, like Thomas, everybody. But the check marks, with Ballard and everything, he just goes down the line. He trusts his staff. So, therefore I trust it. So,
I don't think they want to rob Peter to pay Paul, right? And that's what you end up doing because you see, like, it looks kind of sloppy and people just try to make the math work. But it's like, think about if you just negotiated your new raise and then all of a sudden, like, your boss comes right to, hey, Tracy, hey, man, so we're going to restructure. Like, wait a minute, bro. Like, I'm planning on these bonuses. I'm going to buy my wife some nice shit or whatever. Like, now you go restructure my money for next year. And I get it. Nothing's guaranteed. And we all are blessed to be here. But still, like, when we handshake and sign, like, I want to handshake and sign. Don't be coming back talking about, oh, well, we're going to take $3 away this time and add 10 more later. Nah, bro. This is what I'm getting paid. Don't say I make this much, but then it's actually broken out differently than what we agreed upon. And so I think that's what we don't want to get into position of doing a lot of. And you see a lot of these teams who spend like that. The Rams, they're going to be in restructure all the time. Kansas City, they were going to have to be in restructure. And they were just like, well, damn, Tyreek wants too much, so he's got to get the hell on. Like, and that hurts. That's a big piece that they've lost. And I'll be anxious to see how that works going forward. But some of these guys, like the AJ Browns, the Debos and all that, they're just watching what's going around them, right? And they're putting GMs in bad spots. So go back to characteristics like Thomas said. Maybe these guys are not the guys we thought they were. And I'm not knocking anybody for wanting their money, but it's like, bro, like, in all honesty, Debo had an amazing year last year. First 2 years, riddled with injury. So prove you can do that again and then get the contract you need at the end of your first contract. AJ Brown, solid, but damn, bro, like, come on, bro. Like, you're not performing at Devontae Adams level. Like, play through your rookie contract and get the money you deserve after this year. So that's my thoughts. I don't know.
And somebody that had Debo in his fantasy league at the beginning of the year, he didn't have an entire full year that was knocked out of the park. He had a great second half last season, and that's it. The first half of last season, he didn't do shit.
What damn?
Hey, can I ask the question?
Hey, he cost me some serious fantasy points.
Who had the question? Thomas? Who had the question?
About this cap.
Okay.
About this cap thing, because, like, of course, for me, now let me ask you this: we talk about character, we talk about in the locker room character, we talk about on the field playing. But here's something that puzzles me. Now, I can be biased because my nephew is coming up, probably on a contract year is coming up, and I'm looking at it from a standpoint that this guy has done everything to solidify. And, to me, I've never heard, and I could be wrong, but up to this point, I haven't heard them even make mention of a contract. Now, what really kind of puzzles me about this cap and space and money is, here's a guy who comes in and he signs for, the rookie minimum. And, he's performed, I would say, above the rookie minimum and then some. And, but I wondered something when I seen something in general manager signing, the money that they're giving to people around my nephew, but never once if they come to him. And, and it just kind of makes me wonder when we talk about character. And then it's because my nephew has solidified himself as character and the way he carry himself on and off the football field as far as doing his job and everything. And hasn't, no one has come as far as from me hearing anything as far as a new contract or so tell me in a reference to that, because I'm trying to understand, like, Ballard's mindset. And I know we can't all understand his mindset because, like, I looked and I seen them like, man, they signed Marvin Till, and this guy really don't even get on the field that much. But obviously Ballard sees something in this guy to sign him. But wouldn't you sign someone that is out here? Now, sure, my nephew had a down year last year, but when you have a growing pool and these injuries that pop up, it's gonna hinder you. But what you got in this stock is character, and what you got in this stock is player. Do you think this cap thing, this cash versus cap, is playing a role in reference to my nephew getting another deal? I know that might be a crazy tough question, but I like to get your opinion on it, because to me as a person in it, like, I don't want to be biased, but at the same time is, you pay a guy that, matter of fact, they were drafted in the same round together. Matter of fact, this guy hasn't played really, but my nephew has. He paid Tail,
Carvey, you want to go first? I'm definitely long-winded on that.
Let me say this. My opinion, I think Kari will get paid. They gonna offer something. I don't know when or where and how, but I feel like they will pay him because Kari is one of those key pieces to the defense, because he is one of them guys that that is the difference maker, is the difference maker of the team, especially with this new coach coming in, Gus Bradley, and with everything going on. I think that now he's about to show up and show out where his talent, his skills is about to flourish, where now he's about to be like that guy, like, oh my God, I've never seen this out of Kari, where he about to just gonna be spectacular. So I think this season may be the season where they be like, you know what, I'm gonna keep you, Kari, because it's the fact that what you did right here is going to be great, and he's steady, consistent of everything. Like Will said, Kari is very consistent in both years. So I believe that he's going to get paid, and they're gonna keep him.
Yeah, like specifically to the cash and the cap. For me, my perspective on this is like, you take Marvell Tell. Marvell Tell is a guy that was drafted, then he was, released. He was on the practice squad, but I think he was someone that Gus Bradley just wanted to get a look at. Like, hey, you got a long corner. I'm used to having long corners. Let's see if we can bring him in. Let's see how he evaluates. When it comes to Kari, though, I feel like Kari's going to be the classic version of what a true extension looks like. We don't want Kari to make it to true free agency. So what I'm saying is they evaluate year 1, year 2 very well. You know, look at him again. They be like, you know what? Let's go ahead and prioritize where we are with these players, and it's going to be a handful of them. You're going to see JT. He's going to get an extension. No way JT goes free agent. So it's going to be like him, Kari. I can't think off the top of my head right. Bobby or Karake. He'd probably be another. And those are going to be your classic. Let's extend these players just like we did with Darius Leonard, and then keep building around this because, like Carvey said, these are foundational pieces. Kari's going to be a foundational piece. But you're right. Like you might wonder, well, how did this happen? How did this happen? I really think Gus Bradley just wants to see Marvell Tell up close. I mean, he is an unconventional corner. He's like 6'3.5", 6'4", arms as long as just so. Yeah, let me see what that looks like. I've worked with Browner before. I've worked with, Richard Sherman. Let me see if that guy has any of those traits. That's all that was, in my opinion, Tracy, honestly.
My take on that, Tracy, is there's no doubt in my mind that Kari checks off every box Ballard has. He was drafted by Ballard. That's Ballard's guy. Ballard keeps his guys. Ballard builds through the draft so he can develop these players and then pay them. And they're going to play harder for him. Absolutely. The only way Kari goes somewhere else is if he doesn't like the deal Ballard's offered him, and he tries for more money.
Right, I get you.
But yeah, without a doubt, I think Ballard keeps him. He checks off every daggum box.
Well, I appreciate that. I just, I don't ever want to try to come into a show and take over a show or anything like that. But I want to ask these questions while I'm on here because you guys are experts to me, and I enjoy the Anvil Show. I enjoy Carl. I enjoy Pat. I enjoy every single one of you guys. And whether you guys know or not, I watch your show. I don't catch them all the time, but I watch your show extensively. And I try to share them too in my group, So
we appreciate
you guys. I really do. I just wanted that comment, get that out there because as a person, you don't ever want to be biased about something because I love the Colts. I love the Colts. Before my nephew even got to the Colts, my cousin is Bill Brooks, the legendary receiver.
Holy shit!
So,
bloodline right here.
It's not like the Colts have not even been in the system before Kari, and then Coach Dungy come from my same high school, my same town. His mom was my English teacher. His mom and his family is friends of my family back home in Jackson. So the coach system has always been there, but I wanted to have that understanding of some of the things that I'm seeing because I'm like, man, they talk about character and these things with his money and the space and this and that. And you guys got a classic guy right here, that's a long term. So I appreciate you guys answering that honestly,
Man, who knew Bill Brooks, bro? Everybody grew up. If you're a Colts fan watching Bill Brooks, shit, he was our Marvin Harrison back in the day. Bill Brooks was the man.
He was.
Bill Brooks is like, really like it's my brother-in-law. My Kari's dad is his first cousin.
That's crazy. Wild stuff, man.
I got another thing to add to all that for the I think another thing that's going to help Kari because what we're not looking into is who's the assistant coach that's going to be coaching him now that really helped him as a player? Mike Mitchell.
Mitchell, yeah.
That's huge.
Yeah. That is going to be huge. And also, since he's probably going to learn with him being that third safety, he might be learning from Cato June as well. Coming down to the box.
Come on.
Cato June, Michigan Wolverine.
That's what I'm saying. He's learning from He's learning from Super Bowl winners. We have now got the players as the coaches now. Reggie, we also got to learn, this is Frank Reich's first coaching staff that he's been able to put together himself.
Which is huge because remember how that went down. Basically, Frank worked with the guys that Josh McDaniels by himself on it, and then he bailed on us. So that's no knock against those guys, but hey, you work with who you got. So one team, one fight. But now I'm selecting my people, and the horseshoe is bringing back, actual real-time big players that we've had here. Cato June, Reggie Wayne, all Super Bowl champs. They got the pedigree. They know the Colts way. Bro, That's the underlying story we're not even focused on.
Yes.
We're gonna mold these young boys, be mentors, because I mean, some of the kids have played with them, and then also on top of that, be leaders and like, look, man, you want to get your name up here around this thing right here. You want to get one of these on your finger. This is how we do it. It's gonna be real, bro. It's gonna be real. I'm with it, 100%.
Yeah.
And that's why I'm saying with all that, Kari will get his contract. He's going to be a starting strong safety for here for a long time.
Big facts.
He is our Bob Sanders.
Hey, the hitman, bro.
I told y'all before, the quiet assassin.
Yeah. And I mean,
That's no.
bro, we so good right now on defense. Like, we're not even talking about Rodney being back there and what that brings. Like, I posted something on the Anvil this week. It's like 1-2 lowest passing percentage against him is Blackman and him. Like, that's crazy. Then you got Gilmore over there. Now you got a Kari that can really focus on, hey, look, I like to come up. I like to hit people. I like to be in the mud, because really he's going to serve as that third linebacker, right? Because, we know Bobby and Darius are untraditional built linebackers. They're long, they're lighter weight, 220s and stuff like that. They're not walking around like, the other Bobby that just got paid big bucks at 240, 245. They're not walking around like Ray Lewis. So they're athletic, but now we bring another athlete into the box, Kari Willis, who can play that position just like a linebacker, bro. This is going to be dangerous. It's going to be Hunger Games, bro. Like, just put the sign up and whistle, dog.
Number one defense. Number one defense.
And whistle.
I'm gonna say number one defense. I'm just gonna
Yes.
I'll put the stamp out there. Number one defense, hands down.
I think so, man. I mean, and when have we
I
can we ever say that? We've never been able to say that, right? Like, the Colts defense is the best in the league. Not and mean it. Like, we're just fans. But we might mean it this year. That's gonna be nice, bro.
Not only number one defense,
It's like
it's going to be number one in the South.
it's like a couple shows ago. Remember, we tried to figure out where the money was going. It's O-line, D-line, but it's more 50-50 on both sides of the ball right now where the money's going. We've never been able to do that, because it's always, when Peyton was here, spend all that money on offense and spend it mostly on your defensive end and Bob Sanders. But now with the cap slowly going up and up and up, and you see what we can do.
Yeah. And
It's
2 years from
amazing.
now is the big year. Like, I mean, because we got a lot of contracts that mature and a lot of people to be free agents 2 years from now, right? So if you look at how our cap lays out, it's going to steady increase, like Chase said, but we also are potentially looking at having to sign 15, 20 players. And I think the extensions, though, leading up to that will not put us in a crisis where we're like the Rams, like, man, we got a lot of good players, time to like pull straws. Like, come on, man. I don't know. Pull your straw, dog.
Well,
Might
like
be
you
off
said,
the island.
they effed those picks a long time ago.
Put your torch out.
Like Campbell said though, like, this is so true about the cap though, is like the Rams them are getting all these guys, Odell Beckham, Von Miller, and all this stuff. They hurrying up and swooping these guys up real quick, but they're gonna pay a price in the long run, and I think that's the reason why that Ballard don't do a lot of the stuff that he does, is because you can go and get those names just for right now. We're not looking for guys just for the moment. We're looking for long-term guys, and I think that plays a part of why he doesn't do a lot of things that he do, why he sits back and really don't spend money, which is, anytime you're not spending money, if you're not spending if you're not spending Jim Irsay's money, he's happy. Think about it.
Yeah. I mean, and depth is like,
Money, he's happy.
depth is
If
going
you're
to be
spending
everything.
something that's going to be worth it. And I think that's what, if you looked at Ballard is taking Irsay's money and is spending it on key guys. And several guys we got to give him credit, man. Look at some of the guys he done brought to Indy, man, in the past couple of years. He's spending the money the right way. It just ain't, some of the things that's just not producing, but I'm sure that he's going to get it right, because he's once again shaking it up and pulling a rabbit out the hat.
It's like how you say, it's not pretty. Not pretty. How everybody just want. It's not as Showtime, like, oh my God, eye popping eye candy.
Appetizer,
put it-
like
Yeah.
fancy stuff. Lobster and shrimp. You know what I mean? Lobster bisque. You like that to start your meals, you know what I mean? For the for the T-bone steak come out. But what you're going to see though, like if you're really paying attention, his pickups on defense have shifted honestly the way the draft should go now, right? So now we're drafting depth. So we're looking at cornerback probably later, like he said. We're looking at, people and pieces on defense later. So we can now focus on offense. 42, 73, 122. That's probably all offensive players. Unless something crazy happens. Like I will say this, we're not going to pass up a Jobo at 73. That will shift everything. If a Jobo's around at 73, he's getting drafted. You might as well just.
If he's available at 43, he's getting drafted.
I don't think so.
I think so.
Can't do it, man. You can't do it because you need a need. But 73, people gonna be like, oh man, ruptured Achilles. Like, I mean, look what happened last year with Deo, right? Deo was and we ended up getting him at what number? 60 something, 54.
He was the second pick.
He was our second round pick,
which I thought was a reach because he still would have been there.
He said he thought about taking him in the first last year if he was healthy.
It really was a reach, man.
Yeah, I think it was a reach. He would have been there later, but I get his perspective because last year it was like we need defensive ends. We lost Autry, you know what I mean. Then we really didn't have no pass rush after that, so we're going after that. Quiddy Pay, Dog, Michigan, and you're not gonna pick his boy a Jobo, Michigan? Yeah, right. You're gonna get a Jobo, bro. So
I think this year is receiver, tight end. You can either double up receiver or you can get there. Maybe look at your future left tackle.
I think it might go tight end receiver because it's a much deeper wide receiver. We might not get the super sexy name, but we'll get a solid receiver. But tight end, I think McBride is our first guy, bro.
Hey, Will gets an Omaha for that one.
He a Green Bay fan. He don't know what's going on in his life right now.
And I was just getting ready to say, Big Unk come on the show. Everybody acting right. There's been one Omaha and one bullshit, and then Will brings up this shit. Damn gummit, Will.
Hilarious, bro. You got a Peloton ride after this, Will. Don't be weak. Get your Peloton shoes ready. We riding after this, dog. Yeah, man. But this is the type of conversations that I feel like as a fan base we have to have because you gotta let the dust settle. I'm not, man. A lot of us had, and Big Country said it best on last show. A lot of us had doubts early on with Chris Ballard, and when we do get a chance to talk to him, there's going to be some very, very amazing conversation because understanding the mind of a GM is something we don't know. And I think you can't help but to feel pressure as a fan, maybe even as the GM, when you're watching shit happen around you and you're like, nope, not yet. Be patient. And we know we always going to wait. And that could be tough because there's not even no reason to get hype about the first week of March when it opens. We ain't going to do shit. Like, you just going to have to sit and let the dust settle. And a lot of us start stressing out and, we constipated and shit. And like you just can't. You're like, damn, our team ain't doing nothing and everybody else doing shit, bro. But here we are. Like, this is going to be an offseason to remember. Matt Ryan, Yannick, Stephon Gilmore. If these guys pan out and play great, this might be the best offseason the Colts ever had. Like, this is crazy, bro. Really is. What's going on now? What I'm missing? These ladies to rest. Matt is a consummate professional. We need to adapt to watching. All right, Josh. I'm with that.
This is what you're missing.
Now just mute Carving would be good. Damn, what Steve be having real heat for you, dog. Every week, Steve is at Carvey's neck, bro.
There's some kind of love fest going on between the two.
Look at Carvey with the Kyrie. You doing the Kyrie Irving? They just hit him for $50K. You gonna get fined for the $50K.
Yeah, he told somebody to suck his.
What?
You didn't see that? Kyrie was going in the locker room and someone said, Kyrie, you suck. He turns around and says, suck my.
Wow.
That's what he got fined for.
It wasn't a finger, huh?
No.
I'm sorry.
It was actual verbiage.
LOC. That's my guy, but anyway.
Yeah, man. That's what's up, bro. Where we at, Pat? You the leader.
I don't know. Where are we? How much time we got left?
It's about that time.
You want to go to some Q&A real quick?
All right,
Does it work with everybody? Fired up, bro.
Q&A or
We still got, final thoughts, of course, and then we gotta do the promo. Like Carvey waiting for the promo. You want to do let's do the promo real quick.
all right. Let's do the promo out the way. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages. Hey, I'm gonna tell you right now, if you have back pains, if you can't sleep, or you just can't get it up, hey, you like that, don't you? I'm telling you right now, holler at our peoples at newpalcbd.com. Steven, I know you need that, but I'm telling you right now, ladies and gentlemen, you need that. You need something like and will. But I'm telling you right now, ladies and gentlemen, y'all backs may be hurting, can't sleep. You need something just to ease that pain. You go to newpalcbd.com. I guarantee they get you taken care of. I'm telling you right now, because I couldn't sleep, and they are the ones that could hook me up. So I'm telling you right now. So go to newpalcbd.com. Check them out.
Bruh. Not Steve. I know you need that. That's
Steve and Will. I'm telling you,
That's
they need
wild.
that, especially when they just can't get it up.
We got a request, Carvey,
What?
to sing the song,
What
Is there-
song?
the CBD
Oh.
song you came up with.
No,
I don't
man.
know. If you just can't get it up,
That's not it.
holla at New.
That ain't the one.
That ain't the one.
You were singing a song last week, Carvey.
It was a Naughty by Nature. You down with CPD or something?
Oh yeah, you
Yeah.
down with CBD? Yeah, you know me. You down with
Something like
CBD? Yeah, you know me.
Like,
You can't.
I hate Carvey. He said she can't get it up. It went like what? Bro, that's crazy.
I'm done.
Oh shit, man. Y'all gotta chill out. All right, Q&A real quick. Let's go. A couple minutes of Q&A. We got a couple guys still on here. What y'all got, man? We got a good question.
I know you guys got a question for Kari Willis's uncle.
Let's see who gonna post. Oh well, I see the comments coming in. Oh, Steve is laughing. He's getting his CBD. He's probably on the website right now. Oh snap! Come on, Q&A.
Big Country had to leave. He got to get up at 4 a.m.
Oh, okay. Well, Pat, you got the final thoughts then.
All right. Well, since Joshua says we need another tight end,
Indeed.
Yeah.
Trey McBride. I'm done with the pitch.
Or
42.
I'll take Jelani Woods too.
Yeah, that's later. 4th round. 5th round, maybe. Oh,
All right.
speaking of, we got a new video that'll be coming out soon. Oh, I want to do this before we get in. Can everybody mute real quick? Because I know everyone does not get an opportunity to watch this live. And so I'm sorry, does not get an opportunity to download because you watch this live, and then there's vice versa. But I am so proud of our intro music for the podcast, the actual audio version of the podcast. I gotta play this. Y'all mind if I play this?
go ahead.
All right, man. All right. So give me a second here. I'm gonna cue it up. All right, here we go. So this is gonna be, you know how we come into the show when we live. That's C Minute. That's our cult song for the live show, but the podcast is a little bit different. So check this out. Welcome to the Anvil, featuring Big Country, CJ, Chase, Clyde, T Frost, and Big P. Bang that bitch. Bang that bitch. Bang that bitch. Look, if that don't make you want to listen to some damn podcasts, I don't know what will. So I like to shout out my boy, produced by B Heat. His real name is Kyle Jeter. He makes all of our music for our videos and now our intro music for the pod. That shit is fire. I'm so happy that we were able to get that done. So yeah, if you don't download our podcast now, I hope you will. All right, Pat,
Bang
you
that
up?
ish.
Bang that ish. You up, P?
All right. You are a special guest. You get to lead us off with final thoughts. Anything you want to say except for politics?
I just say, Big Blue Nation, just keep believing in General Manager Ballard. Keep believing in Coach Wright, and keep believing in the system. You know, failure is not an option. We're going to work the problems, but we're not going to make anything better by guessing. And believe me, General Manager Ballard is not guessing. He's getting to the solution. And I just think that our Colts are going to be Super Bowl champions this year because, like we've talked about, seeing on paper, everything can be on paper, but we really got some real ballers. And defense, it's going to be scary. Offense, you know, we're building on it, and I believe we're going to get some good pieces in the draft. And when the season open up, we're going to be a team that they're going to talk about a lot on NFL prime time. And, you know, we'll see how many hugs and how many likes we get, you know. But I appreciate you guys having me come on. I think you guys do an outstanding job. I really, really am going to go back and talk to Kari this weekend. And I'm going to see if I can have him come and just sit with me on one of these shows. And like you guys ask him some questions because your setup is there. And like I've already challenged him before in reference to if Ballard can come on the show, you can come on the show, you know? And so I'm going to challenge Kari from that standpoint, you know, but you guys do an excellent job. I love your setup. I love everything about the Indianapolis Colts fan base, from the organization to the fan base. So you guys, and just thank you guys for inviting me and having me on. And thank you for loving my nephew. You know, I just don't ever want to not tell anyone, thank you guys for loving my nephew and making my family feel comfortable and proud to be a part of this organization and a part of this fan base. And I appreciate it from the depth of our hearts.
Well, just like you, he's earned the right to be loved, and he shows it back to us.
Facts, man. That's real, bro. Damn.
Now we're going to take care of Joshua's question here real quick.
I just told him what it is, bro.
I know, but give him a little bit of insight on your Trey McBride.
All right, man. So we got a new tight end segment that's coming out. The video should come out hopefully this week. But what you'll see is I try to break down 4 different types of tight ends. So you're gonna have your traditional guy, you're gonna have your just pure athlete, you're gonna have, and I've matched them against who I believe they most compare to. So if we go tight end first at 42nd for us, I think it's got to be McBride because he's going to give you the most versatility. I mean, 90 catches, 1,100 and some yards last year. He runs a 4.5. I mean, you see Kittle. I'm sorry, you see Kelsey in this guy. A lot of Kelsey in this guy. So if you want that type of tight end, he's going to be there available at 42. I don't really think. I know Unc said Blake Jarwin and guys like that. I think those are solid pickups if you're not considering drafting a guy. But if you want to draft a guy, they're there. You just got to get them while they're there. So Jelani Woods is another one, a quarterback converted to a tight end, huge, 6'7", 250, ran like a 4.5 as well. Very raw because he's just now new to the position, but he's going to give you athletic, more versatile. And you got to think about across the board. I keep saying across the board, 6'4" across the board with a 6'5" quarterback. That's scary. That's very scary. You know what I mean? So I think you have to look at those things. And I get it. You know, they're going to start rolling in now. Delkich and all these other guys. You're right. I'm not discrediting any of these guys, but I just think that if I had the choice and we had the choice, we kind of broke down the guys who we thought we would pick. But that's the tight end segment, P.
All right. Good deal. Joshua, appreciate your questions, man. And appreciate you always getting on chat every time we go live, brother. Absolutely. And Will, good God. We love you to death. Will gets a special Anvil shirt when we get them made.
That's my boy, man. He gonna support.
Yeah. Thomas, give me some final thoughts, brother.
Is the mic on?
No.
My bad. All right. I don't know if y'all remember, but like at the beginning of March, which I'm guilty of it, like I kind of freaked out after I said everybody needs to chill. I learned a lesson with this whole thing, like how long it took for the Colts to actually do something. I think that we need to go back and like take a lesson from that. And like I said, it carries over into real life too, but like patience. And I preached that, and I didn't take my own advice, and I ended up looking silly. But yeah, that's my final thoughts is to like give things time, let things play out, and here we are. Cause like we're singing a whole different tune than we were like week 1, week 2, even week 3 free agency. So it's kind of where I'm at with it.
Good deal. Carvey, give me some caviar, baby.
Nah,
Make it expensive. Make it expensive.
nah. I'm gonna tell you right now. Everybody, hey, tell you right now, man, go on YouTube, like that button, subscribe to that page. I'm telling you right now, let's help each other out. Let's make the Anvil Show sports show big, So just keep going on that page. Go on YouTube, like that page. Go on Facebook, like that page. Go on Instagram, like the page. Go on Twitter, all that, like the page. Because I'm telling you right now, let's help each other out. Let's get each other out there, But I'm tell you right now, Steve, hey, you know what? I got you. I'm gonna pay for you for that little stuff that help you just rise up. You too will. What?
Y'all are crazy.
I got you. I make sure y'all take care of. So we'll get y'all taken care of. But everybody, y'all take care of yourself. Stay blessed, and Will and Steve, I'll make sure that y'all get that package from New Pal CBD.
Bro, all I heard was the eagle, or not the Eagles, the Falcons. You know how they say rise up, and you're like that's all I heard was. Like,
I'm telling you, that's Will and Steven. They need that help just to rise up to the occasion.
I hate this guy, bro.
Chase, bring it in, brother.
All right, well, I'm going to go with the same thing I always do. It's an awesome time to always do the show Tuesdays and Thursdays, and I'm blessed to do it with you guys. It's been almost a year since I've done it with you and talked to you, P, from the very beginning. And I'm going to go back on patience just like everybody else and live for the little things. Just like I got a couple of days off and just spending quality time just with your kids, just when they're younger. You're going to miss it when they're older. Just have patience, enjoy the little things in life. I mean, that's what I've been slowly doing the last few weeks, is enjoying the little things in life and just slow down and just enjoy life. And I'm just thankful for everything that's come my way so far this year.
Fantastic. Big Clyde.
Yeah, I'll say this. You never know how things come full circle. So it's just wild to think that, I started, following different Colts groups and seeing, certain people go live and just talk to people, commenting. And here I am now, part of a show with Big P, who I just started. We met through conversation. And then I've listened to Tracy's takes after game so many times in his truck, or even when he was doing them in other spots. And it's just like, now here we are sitting in the same circle, on the same show. And so it's crazy. Like, you never know how things line up. And so I've always supported people who are Colts fans. Sure, we might have differences of opinion, but it's all because we all want to see the same end result. So just hearing, someone who's definitely connected to the Colts in different ways than we are, but still be unbiased and still speak its opinion. It's amazing to have that type of perspective. So thank you, Tracy. I hope we do get to talk to you and Kari. That would be amazing. But this is why I started to do this, just so I can have these opportunities, man. So I appreciate the conversation with all of y'all. That's love for real.
Absolutely.
Fantastic. All right, I'm going to go a little deep on you guys tonight. And I typically don't talk about people's business, but I'm going to talk about this one. Carvey is due to have a son at the end of the month. So I'm just asking anybody that prays, keep him and his wife and his family and the newborn in your prayers, that the delivery goes well, baby and mama are happy, healthy, and that family gets to live a long and happy, healthy life together. Absolutely. So Carvey is definitely one of my brothers from another mother. And if you can pray for him, I sure would appreciate it. On that note, we're going to get out of here. You guys, remember, no drinking and driving. Be good to each other. And as always, go Colts.
Go Colts.